Hey, good afternoon, Shawn and Nikki. Thanks for sitting down with me today.
Thanks for having
Good
us there.
afternoon.
So, would you mind by just telling us a little bit about yourself and what your company Bearing Fruit does?
So, Bear Fruit, we're a lead generation, lead nurturing company. We build our own properties and brands, and then we have a back end of buyers. We love using Lead Prosper to distribute our leads. And
And
No, I think Sean said it well, but I think Harrison probably will have more questions about it.
where did the name Bearing Fruit come from?
actually, all of our company names come from meditation sessions where we just sit and ask, what's a good name for the business, and the words pop up. So there's no context beyond that.
That's a great way to come up with business names, but that seems like a really good way to
Give it a
come up with
shot.
something. Yeah,
Oh, and then to add on the top of it, then we just use the AI, local AI to generate it, right? And then somehow it just show up as a bear holding a pear. And I saw it and I was like, this is so perfect. It's just bearing fruit, but then playing a word with the bear and then holding a pear. I don't know. I just love it. Yeah.
that's super clever. I honestly did not even notice the bear the first time around, but that's
Yeah.
awesome. Little play on words there as well.
Mhm.
So, how long have the two of you been in the lead generation space, and what got you into it in the first place?
Yeah, Nikki and I, we've been doing lead generation as media buyers starting probably 2006 or 2007.
Mhm.
And then since then, built e-com companies, done things like that, and then specifically lead distribution services now. So not just media buying, but now generate our own leads, nurturing and selling them. Probably about three years now.
So, got a good amount of experience in the industry, it seems. And how did you first come across Lead Prosper?
Nikki, you want to answer?
I think you found it.
A lot of watching YouTube videos, deep YouTube cuts, right? Where someone is sneaking a name out there and then you just got to research it. It's not easy to find the right tools. You learn,
Mhm.
right? Like you use a lot of different tools. We were using other lead distribution platforms, and then you find your bottlenecks, the things that you don't like about them, try to solve them with that team, and eventually if you can't, be open to new software. Someone mentions it, and I go, okay, let's give it a shot. And luckily, you guys were super easy to onboard with and solved
Mhm.
so many of our issues. In
Mhm.
other platforms that we had, there was a lot of bloat. So we got to cut a large portion of our fee that we were paying monthly, but then also get rid of things that weren't optimal on the lead distribution side that you guys did great at. So it was a no-brainer.
We pride ourselves on the UI and the UX, and also having a very
Mhm.
competitive cost in relation to our competitors. So I think you kind of mentioned it already with the bottlenecks and everything, but were there any particular pain points specifically that you were facing at the time that led you to Lead Prosper?
Yes. Custom fields is a big one. Being able to add a bunch of values to our leads easily and distribute them. And when I say distribute, it's not just to lead buyers, but also to our traffic tracking sources and our own databases. And that probably was the number one feature that made our previous solutions untenable, because we reached a point where if we wanted to be able to send out postbacks and webhooks, we were going to have to like double our monthly price. And that would have been too much for the business at the stage we were at. So when we found you guys included that in your plan. And that was such a revelation to have that access, because we could update our traffic sources, we could update our click tracking software, all of that so that we could run more effective advertising campaigns.
We love to hear when our software basically clears up bottlenecks or makes your life easier. That's what we're here for. So that's awesome. Can you give me a quick rundown of how you're using Lead Prosper on a day-to-day basis?
Go for it, Nikki.
So we used to do a lot of ping posts, but now do we do a direct post. So we have a form and then send it to Lead Prosper. And we have a lot of buyers just stacking them. And then, we just do the direct post. And then we have a trigger set up to send to our database that make a report. And it was super simple and easy to do. And that's the also the part that I really, really enjoy Lead Prosper. Like I just feel like I have a control and I can play with it very easy instead of kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do. now I have to talk to the help desk or something. It's like it's very easy to learn really fast.
I want to add something to that. The webhooks that we do after we generate leads based on, whatever happens is very helpful and intuitive. And then you guys are very responsive in helping us even figure those out sometimes when we run into a roadblock. But what I mean here is, let's say there's a certain criteria that happens with our lead. We can send postbacks to even Google Sheets, which we've done for people who are affiliates of some of our forums, so they can see performance of what their traffic's doing. And that's been really important for us to be able to do.
So that kind of leads into my next question as well. Do you have a favorite thing about Lead Prosper or any particular feature that has been a real game changer? I know you mentioned some fields and the webhooks, but anything else that stands out as being super helpful to you?
Transformer for me is really easy, right? And I enjoy it. I was like, oh, this is very neat. Like it's something like this that I noticed, and I was like, okay, it's a very thoughtful way of helping me. The transformer and like I don't know what's it called, mapping the response, the API response. So here's the response, and there's a tool to map it so that I don't have to guess what it is. It's very helpful for me.
With the amount of different criteria that buyers require, having those data transformers and the response parser tool is super helpful to just be able to
Yes.
plug in and see exactly what you need to put in there. So did you use any other tools before Lead Prosper? And if so, was Lead Prosper?
No, we have other ones. We playing with it. Another one is it's known in an industry, and it's actually is really good, but at the same time it's very bulky and a lot of learning curve. And to the point that I feel like I can't do anything unless I have someone, the help desk or someone, their team to help me figured something else, and the feeling of I don't want to mess it up because I don't know, it's too complicated to me. I definitely know Zapier, but that just I don't know, I didn't feel like I can rely on Zapier. I feel like I need some dedicated software that I can do this and playing with it more. And so when I finally prosper and like I go in and I see like all the instruction and everything. It was just so simple. It's very user friendly. It's very simple. I can just immediately can guess it, right? I think that's very intuitive. I think that was a big bonus that I just know, like I bet that they will have something like this, and I click around. It's like, that it is. It's kind of like that, and it's really nice. Yeah.
That's wonderful to hear. Lead Prosper honestly was built out of frustration with other solutions and how they were so bulky and not easy to use. So how has Lead Prosper helped you hit your goals or grow your business?
Shawn?
I mean, you gotta sell to grow, right? So number one, helping to sell, but then give visibility on what's happening with those leads. So this is a really important part when you're distributing leads, is to understand why your buyer would reject or accept. And what Nikki was saying before is we can see, so they'll click on individual leads as well and just see what were the rejection reasons. Obviously, that depends on the buyer system to be able to send back that data, but Lead Prosper makes it easy to sniff that out and find those reasons, and also to copy those entire fields, the responses rather, and then send those back to the buyers.
Yes.
So it's made the troubleshooting very easy. The question again, Harrison said, how does this help you grow your business? So it's making the lead sales process possible, right? In a very clean way, a scalable way. When we first started in lead distribution with other softwares, it might take a number of days to figure out how to onboard a buyer and get the system to talk to one another. And now it could literally be an hour or less, maybe 20 minutes.
That transparency as to why things were rejected or it's invaluable in optimizing campaigns we found. So my next question is business pivots are especially common in the lead gen industry. Can you describe any business pivots that your company may have had to provide any learning lessons for you?
Yeah, and this is a big one, why Lead Prosper is so valuable to us. A big business pivot for us would be data addendums, but really rounding out our data beyond the lead captured data. So the lead will submit some data, you get whatever, you put it in there and you sell it. And a lot of times your buyers will give you a certain criteria on what they're willing to accept. But that only really tells you whether or not you are providing a lead that is sellable or not sellable. But there's so much more to understand about your lead. Is it valuable? Is it more valuable than you're being paid for? Is it less valuable? Should your pricings change? So that's where we are able to add more data. And this is again why Lead Prosper is so valuable, because there isn't necessarily a restriction on the fields that I can create and apply to a record, but then the automations that I can do with my webhooks based on those data points, that gives us the ability to even further understand how valuable is our data, go back to our partners, talk about pricing with them. And so we have pivoted in different ways based on just being able to round out that data and see the performance.
So you seem like you're pretty happy with your experience with Lead Prosper. If someone were thinking about using Lead Prosper but wasn't sure yet, what do you think you would tell them?
Do you want to make money?
That's a pretty solid pitch, honestly.
Yeah.
I might need to pass that along to our sales guy to use.
It is a choice, though. Do you want to make money? Or do you want to lose money? Or do you want ease or do you want complication?
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much that we're saying, oh, Lead Prosper is the only tool. It's the best tool. It is a tool that has helped our workflow become easy. It's been able to simplify things. It's been able to speed up our production.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how the business owner approaches their business. How do I want to map my workflows? How do I want to execute? Where are my bottlenecks? And when you look at your own business, you'll discover that. And sometimes you have a software that works for you. Sometimes you have buyers that match certain platforms better than others. So far, we've found that Lead Prosper does all of the things that we need. And then we go, I wish our buyers would just use a better platform.
Like, I would say, once I move to Lead Prosper, I don't have to worry. Like, if my team say, hey, Nikki, could you set it up? This new campaign, I'll be like, sure, no problem. It's like 10 minutes or less for me, right? Like, it become not a problem that I don't have to calculate it anymore. It's become not something that I have to worry about because I know it's taken care of. And I feel that it's just a no-brainer to test. Like if someone is debating, it's not hard to even test to see if it works, and then you'll find out if it's good because it doesn't require so much effort to make it win. That's how it goes for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to add something to that, Nikki, because there's a very important part here that Nikki's talking about is the simplification and the ease.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so Nikki being the most technical person on our team, obviously it simplifies her workflow, but also there's less technical people on our team. And I mentioned that we have media buyers, we have business developers, other people who need to see performance and how things are working. And the value of that is we can offload some of the monitoring, some of the performance analysis to different members of the team because it's so accessible. That's something that we could not do in previous platforms.
They have to come to me and it's like, Nikki, what do we know? And I was like, oh, okay, I will make a report for you. It goes to me instead of everyone have a chance to just use the platform because it's too much learning curve for the other platforms.
So I'm sure that accessibility for the whole team makes it very, very useful for you. So you mentioned the features that you already appreciate about Lead Prosper. Are there any new features or updates that you're hoping to see in the future that would maybe make your workflow easier or just anything that you're hoping for down the road?
There is one that is mapping the response to a custom field in Lead Prosper. Because, it's kind of like it responds back to where I sent it. I want to trigger that from the response to the next thing. So I didn't want to go back to the supplier and then ping it out. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about.
We found that our best feature updates come from real world examples of when people basically find pain points in their workflow. So definitely take that into account and see what we can do for you moving forward.
I want to add a couple there, and this is just to the reporting. And I will admit that I am not a power user. It may sound like it in some respects, but like not everything. And some of those for me is more visibility onto performance analytics of the buyers. I know that there is reports. I think the ability to perhaps make calculated fields or things like that inside the platform, that may already be something you offer, but I'm unaware of it. Just having more performance metrics visibility on the platform for our buyers would be beneficial for me.
Yeah, the more robust the analytics are, I'm sure it's super helpful for you and optimizing everything. What's next for your business, and where do you see things going for Bearing Fruit?
So we're growing in more verticals, and we talked about the additional data for our leads. That's going to be a big thing to help us scale. So we'll be bringing on more traffic partners that give us more leads, potentially at a hopefully cheaper rate, but also being able to distribute those leads appropriately based on this extra data. So yeah, more verticals and more data.
Expansion and growth. Sounds
Yeah.
wonderful. So is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience with Lead Prosper?
For me, I interact a lot with the Lead Prosper team, and everyone has been amazing to me. In fact, like I feel like I don't know if you have this report, but the response time I think is like less than 5 minutes. Like if I have issues with other people, I'll be like 3 hours to a day. I know Raul was going to reply, or I know, Jackie, like it's just so fast. And it was just like, it's almost to the point, do they rest at all? It's so amazing. Like everyone was so nice, very knowledgeable, always trying to come up with a solution. It was just like, it's so awesome. Everyone in Lead Prosper was so amazing. Yeah.
That's definitely a point of pride for us is not only how wonderful our support is, but how quickly we answer things and always trying to find a solution if we don't. So we definitely love to do that. And so my final question is, where can people go to learn more about you or your company?
Yeah, they can go to bearingfruitco.com. So they might see some things in there and they want to contact us. Yeah, that's about it.
Sounds great. So thanks so much for your time today, Shawn and Nikki, and thank you to our viewers for joining us for another session of Ping Post Prosper.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.